Hi besties, welcome to this video. So I'm going to be having my lunch with you today. My lunch in question is two iced coffees. One of them is vanilla and the other is gingerbread, and I thought this would be really fun. I just got off an online class and I thought I would come on here, just sit and talk, and I see a lot of people do these videos where they're like kind of less mukbangs and just, you know, sitting and talking and having your lunch with the audience or whatever. So this is normally what I have for lunch. So I have a Cafe Neuro bag here, and I have to give you a little story first because obviously there is one. So like 2 days ago or something like that, I ordered from Cafe Neuro on Uber Eats, and it arrived to my door and it was a mess. It was literally in this bag and it was dripping with coffee and it was fucked. Like I literally had that much coffee left in the cup by the time I was able to get it, and it was dripping down my driveway. It was a mess. And so I called up the cafe, because this is the cafe I go to like all the fucking time before college. Like I go to Cafe Neuro, like literally it's in my routine. So I called up the girl, and it was the girl I always know, and I was like, hey, like I'm not complaining, but I just want you to know that this happened. So like, is there any way like in future, like, you know, a word can be said to the driver so it's like, you know, the bag isn't thrown into the fucking boot and it's like spilling everywhere. So they had sent me like a little note with my order yesterday. And this was like 2 days after, obviously, I ordered the drinks that were like spilled everywhere. And it said, hello, really hope your drinks arrived on time this time. Or no, okay, and on time. I had a word with all of our drivers, so there shouldn't be an issue. Thank you so much for the feedback. Enjoy. So again, it made me feel bad because I had to be a Karen. But anyway, so I ordered again today my two like regular coffees. And whenever you're finishing up the order, you can put in like your dietary requirements or whatever. So I thought I would leave a note, and I just said like, thank you so much, you know, for making the effort yesterday. Like again, I was so sorry that, you know, I had, you know, a bad experience I had to come forward about, and again, this is my favorite cafe, and you know me, and I know you, like, I know the worker, it's like one worker in there, and I'm like, you know, I always come in here and stuff. So anyway, I got this note then in my one today, and it says, hi, your note was so cute, hope you have a great day. The sleeve has the letters of the flavors, because I get two, Cafe Neuro, Ash. So Ash, love to you. So I'm gonna show you the coffees I got. These have been sitting for maybe 20 minutes now, because, oh lord, I have just had a day. So what one is this one? Oh my god, look, it has a G in it for gingerbread. And then this one is my vanilla, isn't it? Yes, vanilla. Look at that, that's so cute. And then look at that, no spilling. Love that. Thank you so much, Cafe Neuro, for, you know. So anyway, I love the cafe in there. But whenever I order coffee, I always either do two, it depends on my day. Kind of over this winter period, I've loved getting gingerbread flavored drinks. Some of them can be overpowering, but I think Cafe Neuro's ones are really nice, so I always drink the vanilla one first because that's kind of like the blandest one. So this is like my preferred drink, so this is always my like preferred lunch. So I need to talk to you, so I need to mix this up because it's been sitting a second. It's still cold though, so hold on, wait. Oh, so good. Okay, so I had a class today. I was talking in one of my live streams about how, you know, it's hard to know when I have classes sometimes because I get a lot of emails, and like sometimes the college ones get lost, or sometimes they go to my spam, or sometimes we're just notified about classes way too fucking late. And I'm only recently in a really good sleeping pattern. You will probably be glad to know, or you don't care, and you know what? You don't have to care. But I'm glad. I always go through like periods where I either have a really bad sleeping pattern or a really good one. There's no in between. So for the entire month of December, I was honestly struggling a little bit, and my sleeping pattern reflected that. I was going to bed at like 9 AM and I was waking up at like 7 PM. Like it was really bad. I would wake up at 7 PM and I would just start working, and then I would go, you know, to bed at like way in the morning time. And so I can like gladly say now that come around 9 PM, I'm really tired, and then I'll go to bed at like 11 PM, and I'll wake up every single day from like 5 AM to like 9 AM, and I never really sleep in past that anymore. And I'm currently in a stage where if I sleep in, I start to like feel really groggy, which is good because it gets me up and, you know, gets me excited for the day. So as of right now, it's currently 1:45, and you know, I'm like ready for my day. So today I had a call at 11 AM I completely didn't know about it, but my friend Aoife texted me and was like, we have a call, and I was like, fuck. So I went on the call, and it was basically us getting updated on our work and stuff like that, and it's just, I have to be honest, like, I keep saying it, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but I don't think I'm meant to be doing my course. I enjoyed it, you know, all of last year, but kind of with the stuff that's happening this year with, you know, us being in lockdowns and having to do it online. I've said this before, so I'm not going to dwell on it, but I just don't think it's for me right now. But I'm going to try to stick it out for as long as I can, because I understand how important education is, and I would always do that message, you know, to you, because I think that's, like, the most important thing, along with, like, your health. So that's kind of like where I was today. The call was, I mean, you know what I mean? But I have a bunch of college work to do now, and like it's editing long projects, like documentary stuff, and so I'm like, love. So kind of today has consisted of that, and then after that I've just been doing like adult things, and I hate that. Like, whenever you're younger, you have such a, oh my god, I want to, you know, see the world, I want to be an adult, I want to, you know, get a job, I want to pay my taxes. I mean, do we say that? We didn't even know what taxes were or whatever. And I'm so lucky in, you know, what I do. However, there's a bunch of adult, you know, sides to everything, which is like, you know, taxes and like legal stuff, and that's just, you know, in your job, and then, you know, mortgages and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different sides to like adult things that are very annoying and not my favorite, but that's kind of like what I'm you know, in the midst of and dealing with right now. So it's not my favorite thing, but it's obviously something, you know, we have to go through whenever we get to this age. But I just, whenever stuff like that frustrates me, I just wish that in schools and colleges, you know, we were more well equipped for this and more educated on this, because I'm getting like told things and I'm like, Jesus, I didn't even know that was a thing, or I didn't know we had to do that, or what's that, like, what does that mean? Because, you know, in schools we're taught like not even basic stuff, like complex things that we're never going to use again. And I think if you're watching this video and you're in like secondary school or, you know, like that, you always have the discussion with your teacher. It's like, when am I going to use algebra in my life? And it's like, unless you go into a field where you like actually need algebra, I'm going to tell you no, you don't use it. And I wish someone told me that, like, advice, because if I was told that, I think I would have stressed a lot less, because I was horrible at maths. So, is it maths or math? I think we say maths. I don't know. I always got dragged in school for saying one or the other. People said I was saying the American version of it. That's like calendar. Calendar is spelled two different ways for like Americans and Europeans, right? I may be making that up. But that was definitely interesting. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, other than like missing my friends, because we're in like another lockdown or whatever, I haven't even seen TJ and Joni now in a long time, and I saw them quite a lot recently, in terms of before we went into another lockdown. And then whenever we went into the lockdown, of course, we always take it very seriously. So I haven't seen them in a long time, and I haven't seen like my other friends in probably like 4 months or something like that, which is, you know, a lot. And like some of my friends I haven't even seen in, oh my god, I have like one hair right now that's like not working with me. I haven't seen most of my friends coming up to like a year. Which is really fucking crazy, because looking back I'm like, oh, I haven't seen this person in so long, but I'm like, has it really been a year? And I just want to like propose that question to you as well, where it's like, you know, we're so deep in this now and we're in a new year, and it's like, you know, we're still mentally somewhere else, whether it is a month, whether it is a certain moment, or like, there's so many different eras of lockdown now, because over here we've had, you know, like lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3, and lockdown 4. I'm pretty sure we're on lockdown 4. Do you like my shirt, by the way? I got this on Depop. I like this shirt. This is what it looks like. I hope you like it. I like how it looks. Let me actually look in the mirror. Yeah, I like this shirt. So we've had like different lockdowns, and each individual lockdown for me has kind of been something else. Y'all see this one hair? My mom cut my hair like 3 days ago, and it really helped the length, you know, and like cut it down a little bit. But Jesus, that fucking hair is a lot. Okay, so lockdown 1 was the initial one, and I think a lot of people were very hyped to, you know, get it over and done with. And, you know, if we all stuck this out, like I hate paper straws. This is literally getting trapped in like the plastic and making it bend. I want to go to a pet shop. Are pet shops closed? Sorry, I know I'm going off topic. Pet shops are not closed because they're essential. I want to go to a pet shop. Not to like get an animal, but I feel like pet shops are like resets for me. I don't know why. I love going in and I love seeing all these different animals. And I love, every time I go, I get like a toy, chew, or something for each individual animal I have, which is, you know, the rabbit, the hamster, the gerbils, the dog, the cat. Every time. So I would love to do that today, but I'm just preferring staying like straight up at home and not doing anything sociable, because I'm more just like in a fed up state of mind now, where I'm like, you know what, we're so fucking deep in this, like, just fucking stay my ass at home. And that's us not, like, we don't have a curfew or anything anymore. This is just like me mentally being like, I'm so fed up going in and out of fucking lockdowns that, you know what, I'm just fucking, I'm not even being like, you know, they're like, you can go to cafes this time or go to shops, whatever. Like, I'll have stuff delivered and I'm not going out. Also, tipping culture. We don't have tipping culture over here. It's kind of like the companies pay like a decent amount, and then like your food, like that's all taken into consideration. So like if you were ordering from a cafe, or you know, someone was delivering your food or something. However, I think I've always lived like this, that if I have enough food, or if I have enough money to order food, I always make sure I have enough money to tip the driver the exact amount of money that my food was. And I started doing this a couple years ago. Oh shit, fuck, nearly fell. Oh my god, I nearly fucking toppled over. I started doing this a couple years ago, but I was just doing it with like my pocket change. So if I had like £20, it would be like £10 on food, like 10 tip. More so in like local cafes and stuff like that, rather than, you know, if I go into McDonald's and not tipping, I will do the charity option, you know, donate money to charity, because they do that now. But it would mostly be like local things, especially with like cafes and stuff. And so if it's like a big chain cafe, the delivery, you know, the delivery person, I would always do the tips. So like, for example, if I ordered coffees and the total came to £14, like the delivery driver would also get a £14 tip. Now I think that's 100% tip. I'm curious that if you're watching this right now and you are from a place where tipping culture is, you know, the main income of, you know, like people who work in those different fields, like what percentage you tip. Say, okay, I'm gonna give you 3 scenarios and please comment. If I went into a restaurant and my food total came to $40, how much would I tip? Another scenario, I go into a cafe and I get drinks or whatever and it comes to $10. How much would I tip? I'm really curious, because I think, and then you hear stories where it's, you know, people are refusing to tip, and then you have to realize that you're going in and paying a cheaper amount for your... I'm a mess today. I'm just kicking everything. Like, you know, people going into places and not wanting to tip, or tip a high amount or whatever, because they're like, you know, I paid my money or whatever, and then you're realizing that, you know, the companies aren't paying the workers what they should be, so they need tips. So I think going into a place like kind of New York is one of the main things. I remember my cousin Rachel went to New York a couple of years back, and she got a job in an Irish bar like that, and I always thought that that's where my path was going to go, that I was going to, you know, get a job and save up a good amount of money and then go to New York and get a job in an Irish bar. And you never know what'll happen. Like, it could happen in my life, whatever, but I just really liked the idea of working in an Irish bar in somewhere like New York, and I was hearing these stories from my cousin Rachel, and she enjoyed it so much. And so definitely, if I don't work in one, I would love to, you know, go to ones frequently in different places. I love going to Irish bars whenever I go to like Spain and stuff like that. So she went to New York and she basically talked about how like she would get like huge tips as well. Like people would want to give her like $1,000 whatever, and she would always refuse it because, you know, it was like $1,000 and like are you gonna threaten me with this or whatever, which is an interesting conversation as well. But I remember having conversations with her. I would actually love to have talked to her more about that, honestly. My Auntie Linda, not me giving you my full family tree, my Auntie Linda actually lived in New York for a very long time as well, and she did the same thing, and she like hopped from waitress jobs to waitress jobs, and she talked about the tipping culture and stuff like that. And I think it's really interesting. I do believe that the companies like should charge more for the food, so they're paying them well. But I mean, because I would be scared that my math would be shit and I wouldn't tip the right amount. You know what I mean? Like, and I wouldn't want to offend, I would like, I failed maths in school. I failed. I got a U, like A, B, C, D, E, F. I got a U, ungradable, in my maths exam at GCSE. And I paid to repeat it. And then I redid it and got a D. And now, that would normally be something that I would like, you know, getting a D. But in a maths exam, I was like, I just was so close to passing. But I knew I couldn't repeat it again. I'm just not good at maths, and I wasn't good at school in the academic field, nor did I, because I'm a very ignorant, like, in terms of like, what's the right word? If arrogant, or not, I don't think arrogant is the right word. Like, if I don't know how to do something well immediately, I'm not gonna try. Like, if I don't know how to paint well, I'm not going to want to paint. If I can't play chess well, I'm not gonna play chess. For example, I played the cello in primary school. After 2 lessons, I wasn't good at it, so I dropped it. Like, this is me. And it's one of my worst traits that I definitely have to work on in my life, but I was like that with the academic, and because I was so good at the creative field, it kind of made me want to work less at the fact that I was struggling in the academic field. And I think as well, my mental state in secondary school wasn't good, so I wasn't, you know, committed to, that wasn't my biggest focus. I think honestly in second year, my biggest focus was working on my creative field, trying to get my mental health better, and focusing on time with the limited friends I had. You know what I mean? And I look back on my secondary school memories, and this is an interesting conversation. I think even if you go through bad things in your life, if you look back on them, for a majority of things, you'll romanticize them. And I don't mean romanticize as in like, oh my god, I'm so in love. Romanticize as in, you'll forget how you felt in that moment, because my secondary school time was so bad that I remember taking notes. Like, I would write down notes on my phone of things that happened, so that I would remind myself in years to come that, yeah, it was as bad as, you know, I thought. So I look back on my secondary school now and I'm like, was it as bad as I thought? And then I read my notes and I'm like, holy shit, like, girl, is you okay? And so however, I will say, the school was terrible. It was awful. The teachers, majority of them, awful. The people who were there, awful. And because I went to an all-boys school, so there was a lot of like unspoken homophobia. And a lot of unspoken like arrogance and unspoken ignorance and unspoken, yeah, there was a lot of unspoken mess going on in the school. And it was like, because it was an all-boys school, if you weren't like a sporty person, and keep in mind, I am really good at running. By the way, that noise is my dog had pups, so that's what like little like squeaks are. I'm really good at running. I would actually be interested to see how I would be at running now, because I haven't, you know, in so long. I'm great on a bike. I'm good at sports that require muscle, because I am quite a built person. I'm kind of like, is like stocky the right word? I have a swimmer's body. I'm great at swimming. And I've kind of, you know, maintained and built upon my body that I've had right now. Like, obviously I'm not gonna fucking lift my shirt up right now, but I mean, as you can see right now, like my body's like this, my arms are, you know, a decent size and stuff. I am still, you know, skinny, but like, as you can see right here, like, I'm an alright build. So that really helps whenever I'm doing, you know, like throwing the fucking like metal ball or whatever, or you know, where you have to run and like pull yourself up, or what was another one? I was really good at, you know, jumping in place and see how far you could go. I was amazing at tug of war. Like, memories like looking back on secondary school like that, you know, where I was actually allowed to, you know, we would do gym. Gym was my favorite PE sport. We used to do PE every week, and I would always fake a nosebleed, or just like walk out of the building. And to fake a nosebleed, I had like a gel red pen, and I used to put it on my nose and like do it like that and put it all over my hands. And I'd be like, oh fuck, and then they knew what I was doing. Like, they really didn't care to like look into it, because they didn't want me at PE as well, because I obviously I would sit at the side, and if I was on the football team, like I would not contribute, because I was so angry that like they're making a big deal, especially in the government, where they're like, you know, we need the fitness of our young people, and then in an all-boys school, it's like you do football or you don't fucking do anything, and that really pissed me off. So whenever, near the end of my time at my school, they introduced doing gym, and I loved that. I loved going to the gym. We would run on the treadmill, I would do weights, I would do push-ups, I would do sit-ups. I loved the gym, so that was one of my better memories. However, my PE teacher definitely had some like unspoken thing against me. He would always go out of his way to like make sure I looked at my phone, and then he'd be like, give it to me, and he would like lock it up or whatever. I'd be like, y'all, you did that for what? Like, all the people you like in this class like have their phone out, and I have mine in my back pocket, which is allowed because you were listening to music. He had something against me. You know what? Okay. So that's a good memory I'll look back on. I'm feeling positive, so let me look back on good memories. I had good memories with some teachers. There was a teacher, an English teacher, absolute babe. She was phenomenal. She was like such a spoken like loud feminist, and I loved her. She really stood out in a school of like boys who were very, you know, anti-woman, you know what I mean? And so I loved her. She was great at English. She motivated me to want to read books and stuff like that, and I really appreciated her a lot. Hold on, there's like one hair that is just, it's, you know what I mean, like a lot. I'm sorry to distract from my story, but so I loved her. She was amazing. Who else was a good teacher? You know what, my English teacher towards the end of my time, he was a man. He was a bit iffy at times. However, I am phenomenal at English. You may not believe this, but I got the highest grade at GCSE, full marks, because I'm amazing at creative writing, and I'm really good at literature. Keep in mind, I went into my English exams. Now, GCSEs were quite hard. I went into my literature exam studying poems that I had not read. I had not fucking read these poems. My first time reading them was during the exam. And now everyone was studying it for months. So whenever I pulled higher grades than them, I was like, that was a flex move for me, definitely. What else? There was a book we did of Mice and Men. Did not read the book. I did not read the fucking book. But I went in and took an exam on it. You know what I did? Watched a YouTube video on the book. I didn't even watch the movie of Mice and Men. I literally watched, I think, a 12-minute YouTube video explaining the book, and I did like character study, essays on the book, essays on the plot, bullshitting, 100% on the exam. Now keep in mind, the people who were flexing how smart they were in the class and how much like I was going to fail this exam, because I would take a lot of days off school because I was just, I was not happy when I was at that school. They were making fun of the fact that I was going to fall behind or whatever, and then I pulled better marks than them, so stuff like that I'll look back at fondly. So the teacher, the English teacher, towards the end, he like changed his tone with me and started to, I assume, like me more whenever he realized that I was really good at English. And he would definitely allow me to, you know, not show up to class, or, you know, like, be a little bit less present during conversations because he knew I would always make up for it. So I appreciated that. Who else? My secondary school days were like my peak sassiness, you know what I mean? They were like my peak bitchy days. I look back, however, on being in secondary school, and I not to be cheesy, but I don't recognize that person. Nor do I want to. I don't, personally, the person that was going into that school every day, I don't like that person. I was so sad, and, like, actually sad, and just, I would never want to ever go back to that place, and I've done so much personal growth since then, and I think cutting people out of my life, and, you know, evaluating my morals and stuff like that, and just, I think I'm way happier with the person I am today than what I was back then, and I try to not get so hard on myself looking back, because I was like, the situation was what made me so, in my opinion, toxic, and I have no problem, like, holding myself accountable for that. There was definitely a fear to fit in with the more rude people in the class, and, you know, like that, and so I'm trying to, like, look back and realize that, you know, in that school, it was like, you either did this, you did that, or you know what, like, they would set up to, like, have something happen to you, and I don't mean kill you, but I mean, like, publicly embarrass you in the canteen, or publicly, you know, throw rocks at you in class, and the teacher would be like, I see nothing, you know what I mean, like, you really had to act a certain way, and for the majority of it, I didn't act that way, and so I was obviously a target. And I remember towards the end of my time in that school, I gave up and I just fit into that mold, you know what I mean? I was like, you know what? Like, I'm a fucking chameleon, I'll just fit into whatever y'all are doing. So looking back, like, I'm trying not to be too hard on myself, but that's one of my worst, like, just overall opinions of that time. Secondary school is where I met my friend Brian. This is actually a very Brian shirt. This is something I believe he would wear. I'm actually going to FaceTime him right now, and he probably won't answer, but I'm going to see if he would wear this shirt. I'm not giving it to him, but I remember when I ordered it, I was like, oh my god, this is such a Brian shirt. Hold on, I'm pretty sure he has something like this. He loves these kind of shirts. He might be in a class right now, however. So, sorry, Brian, I met him in secondary school, and I mean, that was, a great moment.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like this shirt? I feel like this is a very you shirt.
I fucking love it.
Isn't it? Do you have something like this? Because I feel like I've seen you wear something like this.
Maybe? I'm not sure.
Okay, I just wanted your approval on it. Okay, bye.
It's very nice stuff.
So, sorry. So I met Brian in secondary school. So that's like a good memory. Me and Brian had good laughs, but even looking back on that, like, me and Brian's, like, friendship back then is so different than what it is now, and like looking back at what our conversations were and our friendships, it makes me honestly want to, like, shrivel up and die. Like, it's just, we're both two different people now, and our friendship is in a completely different place, and, like, we both weren't in a good place when we were in school, and there was, like, even me, say for, like, the likes of me and Brian, there was always, like, built up tension between us, just because we both didn't want to be there, and we were both so unhappy that, not to speak for, I'm not exposing anything, I'm literally just saying that, like, the school was awful, so we were, you know, and so there was always, like, built up tension that we both didn't want to be there, and we would both take it out on each other, and so, like, looking back on that as well, it's like, I'm so glad that, like, you know, holy shit, me and Brian went through so much whenever we were in secondary school, and look at us now, you know what I mean? Like, I think we've both never been in a better place personally, but also together, and I'm really grateful for that, and I think the secondary school environment I was in definitely brought out the worst in, I'm not gonna say Brian, I'm saying myself, it brought out the worst in me. I think that was the worst I've ever been as a person, and I 100% I'm gonna hold my hand up and say that, and so I'm so glad to have moved past that, and for me and Brian to, you know, grow as people as well, and so that's how I'm feeling about that, and so this is the first time, honestly, I'm, like, sitting down in a long time and just thinking, like, I'm almost done this coffee and I'll go on to the other one, but I really didn't enjoy that time of my life, and I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad it definitely taught me a lot, and I think, what more can you ask? I don't think I would be as, and I would say I'm self-aware. I wouldn't say I'm as self-aware or I would be as self-aware as I am right now if I hadn't gone through what I did, and then looking back on it and being like, yeah, I don't like the person that I was, whatever. And it's not that, you know, like I was this monster or whatever. It's just that I don't recognize that person. And even if like I don't recognize just like how I mentally was, you know what I mean? Nor do I want to recognize that. So I'm definitely glad to be in a better place right now. And again, YouTube was the thing that held me together. YouTube was that for me. YouTube has been so consistent in my life. That main channel of mine, day in, day out, that was it. I would go to school, get made fun of for doing videos, but you know what? I went home and filmed more videos and posted more videos. It never once discouraged me, and I have to give myself that. I never once backed down from YouTube through friends making fun of me, friends dropping me because they thought it was embarrassing, or even at a worse time in my life, whenever people I thought were friends were trying to set me up and being like, oh my god, you want to be a YouTuber one day? And they would take my phone and message themselves things and be like, look, we've screenshotted this and we're going to use this against you in the future because you want to be a YouTuber. Because I would always make an issue. I'd be like, I'm so angry that whenever a YouTuber reaches their peak, you know, it's them being exposed as a problematic person. And you know, I wasn't that. And then they would always be like, oh my god, this is so funny. Now, like, oh my god, are you gonna buy me a coffee? Look, I have this screenshot now. And so, again, that was another horrible period of my life, and I'm so glad, I'm proud of myself, I got out of that. And like, looking back on that, I learned so much from that as well. And so, I think for being 18 years old, I've learned a lot of different values, and I'm so grateful. Like, especially, I think, whenever you're from a small place like Derry, it's currently 1:10. Also, my picture is still Aoife. I'm going to show you my home screen, actually. It is a picture of Dolly Parton. Can you see this? Or sorry, let me tap the screen. It is a picture of Dolly Parton, and someone posted this, and they were like, me after sending an email, and I thought it was really funny. So, whenever you're from like a small-ass city and town like Derry, everyone knows everybody, and there's like a thing where it's like, oh, like, you know, if you're going into the creative field, it's a bit weird, and YouTube, people didn't like that, people didn't like people posting on Twitter, people would make fun of, you know, people for like Instagram photos, and so, like, all credit where credit is due from Derry. I'm glad to be a Derry boy. My podcast is called Derry Boy, but I'm just, I think I'm going to be very grateful to see the world and meet other people and, you know, expand myself. So that's definitely something. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but I definitely want for next year. Again, we don't know what's going to be happening with the world and stuff, but first coffee done. So that was my vanilla. Now under the festive gingerbread one. Thank you so much for watching this if you are to this stage. Like, I just enjoy coming on here and talking. So this is the gingerbread one. This is the festive one. This is probably going to be like one of the last times I get gingerbread of this season, because, you know, it's going out pretty soon. So should we take a thumbnail? Oh my god, I always love whenever YouTubers like do their thumbnail in their video and then you're like, oh my god, like I feel like I'm in on a secret. So let's do it. Hold on, I'm gonna tap my face and I'm gonna just like sip the drink, and then that's gonna be the thumbnail. And let's like, you like pretend take a picture, and we'll say you're the photographer of the thumbnail. Okay. Look at that. Oh, this is so good. I think the thing, why is there staples in this? Girl, not that. Sometimes gingerbread can be so overpowering. What else do I want to talk about? I'm in such a talkative mood right now, which is, I mean, great. I love whenever I'm like this. But I honestly have a lot of, like, opinions and things to say. I'm trying to, like, there we go. You know, I used to wear my hair in summer over the ways, and sometimes it still does go like that, and the reason I do that sometimes even now is because it's just not in my face or whatever, but I realize that it makes me look very dorky. I need to move this around. Also, one thing about my secondary school, the canteen staff were great. They were lovely. And they definitely were like, you know, you have a month until you're out of here. 30 days until you're out of here. You're out of here next week. They were definitely big motivations for me. But I definitely think, like, the conversation of education has never changed. You know what I mean? like, the topics that we're taught have never changed. The conversation has never changed. You know, it's the same topics. The curriculum has never changed. So it's outdated, and I think the teachings are outdated and the methods of teaching are outdated. Now, I'm not saying we need to go online, because that's not working in my opinion, but I just mean the way, you know, things are approached. Like, in my secondary school, we had no, like, classes on, learning about, like, LGBTQ issues, issues surrounding women, surrounding men, surrounding, you know, like, so many things I wish I knew, even just, like, in, like, system issues, locally, globally, and it was definitely something that even now, until I'm, like, trying to, like, get myself caught up on and educated on, because we never did. I think that the most we ever, was taught was in RE. I loved RE. I wouldn't say, here's my thing, people ask me all the time, Adam, are you religious? Here's the thing. My grandparents are very religious. My family, my family aren't that religious. But my family isn't atheist, and my family aren't, you know, there is no God or whatever like that. Like, it's just kind of like, we don't go to church. We don't go to church daily, we don't go to church weekly, monthly, yearly, we don't go on, like, Christmas Eve, we don't go on, like, Boxing Day, I don't even know that, like, Easter, we don't go on any of these things. However, I did go to a Catholic primary school, I did go to a Catholic secondary school, my college now is mixed, and so I was definitely brought up in that climate, and, me personally, and so in each of those schools, obviously, we were, you know, taught the teachings of the Bible, and we did that in RE. And I loved RE, and I'm not even the most religious person. I enjoyed debating, and I would always debate on the opposite side, you know what I mean? Like Jesus said this, and I'm like, here's why he's wrong. Like, I would love debates, and I'm really good at, debating. So, I enjoyed RE so much, and my teacher was, I had 2 RE teachers. One of them, we had for a year, then the other one we had for a year, and they were both amazing. They just made me love the subject. So maybe it was them that, you know, made me love it. But I don't actively pray. I just kind of, if you're religious, you know, do your own thing. If you're not, do your own thing. It's probably my cat coming in. She pushes open the door. She literally is so strong when she pushes open the door. It's quite terrifying. So that's so terrifying that she's strong enough to push open a fire door. Isn't that kind of crazy? Come here. Come on up. Do you want to say hello? So I think as time goes on, I realize that I'm more a spiritual person, but not to, like, I'm not, like, actively practicing that either. I think just I try to be, you know, a good person in my day-to-day life, and I will educate myself about both sides. And I think, like, what more, you know, should I expect of myself? I don't really think, you know what I mean? So, that's kind of, like, where I'm at. A lot of people ask that question, like, am I religious? However, sometimes I do pray. I'm not saying I don't want to say I don't believe, but I'm just saying sometimes it's more of a comfort thing, because, you know, it's been in my family, and it reminds me of, you know, my nana being like, this will, you know, protect you, or this will, it puts my mind at ease sometimes. So sometimes I take the approach of praying, and other times I take the approach of being like, you know what, this is going to be fine, this is going to be okay, and going within myself rather than, you know, going to, like, and I think the conversation of religion kept me sane for a lot of years about dying. But the older I get, the less I'm like, the less I look to a heaven or whatever, and the more I try to educate myself about, like, you after you're gone, you know, in a spiritual way and stuff like that. I think that, but I mean, you know, they can go hand in hand, and I think I need to educate myself more on both. I think the religious parties can be a big turnoff to me because they can be very vocally taking things out of context, and I think that's why I've kind of neglected the church in a big portion of my life. But again, I'm only 18 and I still have a lot of learning to do. And I'm going to, you know, focus my life on always educating myself in that way. Sorry, that's my dog just walking around. You alright? Hello? Hello? You good? I'm just patting her. So that's where I'm at. So I never thought I was going to answer that question, but I'm just like interested to talk about it. So that came from me saying I love RE. RE was another exam I was really good at because it was, you know, basically doing essays and talking and writing and just... Girl. She got out of her bed to walk over to my cat who's minding her own business to just growl at her. And my cat just acts like a dog now. Like she didn't do anything. She didn't move. She just stared at her. That's the thing as well, because we have dogs. The cats always just act like dogs in the end. And I want to know if you have like any experience of that as well. I think it's interesting because obviously if you keep cats around cats, they'll probably act more like cats, but cats around dogs, they'll be like... Or no, I mean, if I like let her hang around Monty, would she start acting like a fucking rabbit? Monty loves the cat. The cat's called Luna. They get on so well. Monty gets on really well with my dog Molly, but probably way more the cat. He loves playing with the cat, and he likes just kind of like lying with Molly. Molly is very protective of Monty, which is very cute. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with that. I've been trying again. I just want to give you an update on... I've been trying so hard to get Monty another rabbit, you know, to keep him with. And just every pet shop or adoption keep fucking denying me. And it's so annoying. Because they're like, yeah, like, we'll allow you to buy 2. You know what I mean? But then they'll be like, you're buying 1. And I'm like, yeah, I have 1 at home. And they're like, oh, no, 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 no. We want you to buy 2 from us. And I get it. They get more, like, sale credit if they get 2. But, like, can we just look out for, like, the welfare of animals and realize that it's going to a really good home and it's going to be paired with another one? And Monty is still quite young. I got Monty on September 29th. September, October, November, December, January. 5 months I've had Monty now. And I think Monty was, like, 14 weeks or something when I got him. Or maybe 17. I'm not really sure. So... You know, he is still quite young, and I would just like to, you know, be able to get him a friend, and like, the older he gets, the more I'm nervous to, like, intrude. Oh my god, that's Chuck. Oh my god, that's Chuck. And the more nervous I get to introduce him to one, but just every, like, adoption or pet shop is being so annoying about it. However, Pets at Home, which is a big like chain pet shop we have over here, is probably the only one who have actually, in my opinion, cared about the welfare of the fucking rabbits. I went to Jolly's and they were like, no, we want you to buy multiple rabbits from us instead, like, because they want, you know, to just sell all the rabbits. Adoption places are like, no, because we don't know if your rabbit is aggressive. Pets at Home are like, do you have a rabbit at home? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, so you're wanting to get them a friend? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, that's no problem. However, Pets at Home have just had limited availability of rabbits recently. Like, they have guinea pigs, they have hamsters, they have a bunch of rats. I think rats are interesting pets. My brother really wants a rat. In my future, I really see myself with a lot of different kinds of animals. That's my dream. I want to have parrots. I would love a cockatoo, but cockatoo, in my opinion, would just be too much. Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be settled. Same with any pet, but a cockatoo is literally a toddler. Like, I would love to have, you know, a couple rabbits. I would love to be able to have guinea pigs again. I would love to always have hamsters. I would love to have, you know, gerbils. I would love to, honestly, I would love to... No, I don't think I would like to have rats. I think it's a mental thing for me. They're just really big. Like, gerbils look like rats, but only they're very small and cute. Rats, like, I love y'all. I'm very intelligent, and maybe I will go down that route in the future, but as of right now, they terrify me. Because I'm still quite scared of, like, long tails. I got that phobia from my mum But gerbils have tails, and I have no problem looking at them, but whenever I'm holding my gerbils, I'm like, oh. Like, I'm still getting over it. You know, the way hamsters have, like, little, like, short ones, and, like, the Monty has, like, a little, cute little, like, tail like that. Dogs, it's not the same, but it's, like, with, like, rats and stuff and gerbils, it looks bare. It's, like, the skin, and that's terrifying to me. So I'd love to have that, but also, like, it's so wild, but, like, I do want, like, just a huge variation of animals, because I know that I would take care of them, and I know that I would, you know, treat them really well and love them and spoil them and stuff. And so, but I'm just being very wary of, like especially whenever I got my rabbit, hamster, and gerbil. Like, hamster lifespan is like 2 to 4 years, okay? Gerbils is like 4 to 8 years, okay? And, you know, Monty, he has a big life expectancy. And people were like, what are you going to do with your animals whenever you leave home? And it's like, take them with me. You know what I mean? Like if I'm looking at a house or whatever, are pets allowed? If I'm looking, and that's looking to buy a house or pet, you know, it's like, I'm the decision owner, or I'm the decision maker in that. Or renting a house. Can we have animals here? No. Okay, well, doesn't work for me. Because I think animals just provide me with so much comfort and so much, like, timeline. Like, they make me very consistent, because I'm like, I have to feed you, I have to feed you, I have to feed you, I have to feed you. So I work my timing around that. So whenever I didn't have animals for a period recently, I would, like, sleep all day, or, you know, I would sleep at really bad times, because I wouldn't be working on anyone else's schedule. And, you know, Monty especially, like, he needs things done periodically throughout the day, and I make sure they're done. And, like, the hamster's a lot less maintenance, and then the gerbils are a little bit more maintenance. And kind of like, my brother takes care of, you know, the cat, and the dogs are not what, like, I focus on my animals. That's kind of like, you know, elsewhere. My mum's. And I definitely want cats in the future, but I love pit bulls. The dogs, well, Pitbull, the artist as well, fantastic. I saw Pitbull in Dublin. It was amazing. But pit bulls are definitely dogs I love. And I love Cocker Spaniels now, and Spaniel dogs. But I really want a pit bull. And, you know, like, it's kind of like the dog that I really like. So I'll definitely be looking into that whenever I'm, you know, out on my own. But I think I'll just be careful with whatever animals I decide, because, you know, I do also want to, like, I want to base myself out of somewhere, and I definitely want to, you know, have a place in Derry, and then if I'm not here, you know, like, you know, have someone manage it for me, and I'm elsewhere. And so it's kind of like animals, where it's like, you look at your life in 5 years, and it's like, are you still accommodating for them? You have to. And so that's where I'm at. So, oh my god, I really enjoy just talking. Like, I'm not done this coffee yet, so I'll need to, like, you know, get through that. But it's just, it's so nice to come on and talk. And there's, like, a different thing, right, with doing YouTube, where it's like, if you make yourself feel like you're having a conversation with yourself, then you don't, you know, there's no connect there. But whenever I'm talking, I just know that there's an end goal of someone watching this, and I really do feel like I'm, like, talking to you right now. And I know that hopefully you'll comment, and, you know, I asked questions throughout this, and you'll give me your own opinions. And over summer on my main channel, I used to do walking videos where I would go outside and I would talk about topics, and people would comment, like, huge ass comments, and I would read them all, I would respond, and, like, it makes you feel, like, so real. And it's something I love so much. So everyone, this was really fun. This was different. This was like enjoying like my lunch and just talking, and I feel like I talked about so much and I never thought I was going to. I feel like this was like literally a therapy session. I was like talking about like different versions of myself and eras I didn't like and stuff. And so, oh, by the way, if you've watched this long, Lord, I opened up in this video. I was holding myself accountable. I was saying that I thought I was a horrible person. I like things. I want to hear if like I'm the only one who thinks like, you know, looks back on themselves and is like, I didn't like this and I want to change this about myself. Or not. let me know. I'm really curious actually if anyone has watched this long. If you have, let me know. I mean, I don't expect anyone to like want to watch this long, but I mean if you did, that's like really, you know, like dope. Like how did I keep your attention for that amount of time? I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. So it's currently 1:30. I don't know when we started this, I think like 1:45. I love you, and I really do mean that, and thank you for being here and spending whatever time of the day you're watching this with me, or night. And yeah, stay safe, stay happy, and bye.